So today I'm going to trim this bowl that I made yesterday, the noodle bowl. But before I start to trim, I usually like to sharpen my trimming tools, and I'm going to use these two trimming tools, number one and number two. And number one for chattering. So to get a nice chatter, the tip of the tool has to be very sharp. So you can use a file, and I have a file here that I also have it on my Etsy shop. It's a diamond file. It's very fine grit, so you don't take too much metal off. Basically just raise it up, put it on a piece of a block of a wood, and then just file on the tip. And since the tool has been beveled on all edges, and if you just file on the inner part, you could make it sharp again, easy and fast. So yeah, and you can feel it, and by running the finger there, this is very sharp. So I'm gonna use that for cheddar. That's my number one. And then for general trimming, I'm using my number two. I like to sharpen my tool before I trim. That will get my job done easier. Okay, that feels very sharp. This is the diamond file, and it's very easy to clean, and just wash it off. Okay, and now I'm ready to trim my noodle bowl. I made it yesterday, so when the rim is firm enough, I usually turn it upside down and let it dry all the way till it is completely dry. You can feel it. The surface is not sticky, and the rim is quite firm. That when you try to squeeze it, it's not changing the shape. So this is the good time to trim. And before you trim, make sure that you want to know, especially for the beginner, that you want to know how thick the bottom is, so you don't leave too much of the clay on the bottom, and also you don't go all the way through. And I have a very good way to do it, and I've been showing in my previous video. Actually, you only need two, but in here I want to show you exactly how to do it. So this is the horizontal ruler that you're gonna place right on top of the rim, and make sure that when you measure it, make sure that is flat. Okay, if it's been bent, then it's not gonna be accurate. So make sure that is flat. So you place right there. You see that there are two holes, so you are going to insert. This is the horizontal one, and this is the vertical one. So you're going to insert that ruler in the middle, in the center, and you got the reading there. And then you can pull it out and measure the outside. I just want to show you, if you have two pieces of the vertical ones, and you can get the reading instantly. And for the outside, it's around 113. I don't know about the camera might not be able to show it. And for inside, it's around 97. Okay, so 113 minus 97 comes about 16 millimeters. So because you want to check the thickness, so that you subtract the difference. You measure the outside and measure the center point so that you are on the same level. So you subtract the difference, you come up with the exactly how thick the pattern is. So before you start to trim, you already know how thick the pattern is. And then when you are trimming, say that I have 16 millimeters, okay, all people are worried about the millimeters, just like 16 units, okay, unit from my ruler, 16, and you want to trim within 3 units, okay, 3 millimeters means that you could go about 13 millimeters or 13 units deep. So once you are trimming it, you can place it right here and then keep on checking it until you hit 13, then you stop. So you know the center of the bowl here on the foot is exactly 3 millimeters plus the thickness of the ruler. So I will say about 4 millimeters. So that's the how to use the ruler. Okay, so before I started, I want to center. I usually use the water to stick my pot on the wheel head. And if you, by doing so, you need to learn how to tap center. Otherwise, your piece is not going to get dry in time for you to stick it on. So, tap center. So that the water is sticking in the pot on the wheel head. Okay, try to move it. It's quite steady. So that's the way to do. You can speed up your process, your trimming process, easy and fast. So the tap center is a very good technique to learn. Right. Okay. So and then when you start to trim, you can try to estimate where is you gonna put your foot. And I like to have a smaller foot. So you could be using the tool or even the needle tool to make a mark. So where you want your foot ring. I'm going to make 2 marks here. So to estimate approximately where this will be my foot ring. So I need to remove the clay in the middle and remove the clay on the side too. And holding my tool quite firm, so hold it closer to the end of the knife here, and try to stabilize it, and use my thumb to support my left thumb. Put my left hand here, extend my left thumb, so resting the tool right on my left thumb. And you can go and cut through and shave the clay off. So this is just roughly cut into the clay, and I will decide where that should end. How far could I go? I will decide it by checking the inside part here. So after I got roughly removed the clay, I will go back to the center and try to remove the clay from the center. So to prevent it from cutting through by accident, I will put my measuring ruler back and check it. So now it's about 9 millimeters. So I know that I could go 4 millimeters more. Okay, check it again. Okay, it's almost 13 millimeters. I will cut a very final cut, just cut a tiny little bit. Okay, so I will stop right here, and if for you, if you have more experience, actually you can just by tapping the button and hear the sound, and if you have more experience, you will know that this is about right. Okay, so that tool is also a good way to learn the remember the sound. So later on you might not need the tool to measure all the time, just by tapping, and you know already that that's the right thickness. Okay, so then I'm just going to do the final touch up around the corner and make the foot rim a little bit smaller. And now, since I have the button, the thickness of the button right, so I usually compare the inner corner, the inside corner, and the outside corner. That the ball is that the whole consistent curve. So the outside and the inside should be on the same height when you are trimming it. So that's how I decide how much clay I could remove from the outside. And for here, when I'm trimming down here, that my thumb is not long enough to stabilize my finger, then I'm usually extending my finger here, so have the finger hold it on the side of the ball, so even I don't have my thumb to stabilize my tool, I still have a little bit of a support from the fingers. That's how I cut it all the way to the bottom. And I usually like to make an undercut here, right by the corner of the foot. So using the corner, okay, the corner of my trimming tool, and I go and make a a little undercut. So to make this undercut, so when I'm glazing, when I'm holding on the foot, I'm gonna dip the whole piece into the glaze. The glaze hopefully will stuck right here. So this little undercut help the glaze from going all the way to my foot. And I don't usually glaze my foot. Okay, so almost there. The very final cut, I usually like to spin my wheel very fast. So I will cut the surface smooth. So after I finish trimming, I usually like to burnish my foot. And put my stem right on the foot. So the very final step is getting the chattering mark right here. I would say about a little more than 1/3 of the whole area here. So this is my number one trimming tool, and like I told you that the tip has to be very sharp. And your clay, you need to be it needs to be at the right stage. Okay, don't do it when it's too dry or too wet. If your clay is too dry, you can brush a little bit of water and then to soften a little bit. And if your surface too wet, then you can use a hair dryer or heat gun to heat it up, so that the dryness will be play very important to get a nice chattering mark. Okay, so to get the tool to bounce, I have to hold my tool a little bit longer. I'm gonna spin the wheel a little bit faster and stabilize my hand, so I put my both hands together holding the tool. Okay, about a little bit more than 1/3 of it. And then I usually like to use the corner of my tool to draw a couple lines to define the chattering mark. Okay, so that's the chattering mark. Use a brush to, there's some residual clay stick right there. You can use a brush to brush it out. So the key is the spin the wheel a little bit faster and move your hand consistently, and you're gonna end up with a nice cutting. Each one is each cutting, and since the wheel is spinning very fast, so you can get a nice decoration line right around here. And now it's ready. And sometimes if the piece is sticking on the wheel head, since I was using the water, sometimes it's hard to remove it. You can use a heat gun or even the hair dryer to kind of dry a little bit, and then your piece will be easy to pop off. And mine is not the case, so it's very easy to remove it. But if your piece is sticking on here, just use a heat gun or or hair dryer, and you should be able to remove it easily. So this is the noodle bowl. For porcelain, I usually just use my sponge to smooth the rim. Okay, so our noodle bowl is finished. Right? Thanks for watching.